Hello, friends. This is Sam Chaney reporting for Weaponized News. Today is March 26, 2025. Time is flying. March is almost over. Happy Wednesday to you. It is Purple Day. Happy Purple Day. And I wore my purple shirt not even knowing that this morning. It's like one of the clean shirts I had when I woke up and had to run out the door. But anyway, happy Purple Day to you out there. And of course, wear your purple ribbon. We don't even know why, but just wear a ribbon and say you're in virtue signal that you're a good person. That's good enough for most. We have Ruckus from alternate current radio on the line. He's going to join us. We're going to try to put it all in an hour today, as we both have other things to do after the show. So let me get right to it quickly. The hooks for this show are Democrats sound crazy. They had crazy hearings today about the defunding of NPR and PBS. We got some clips. Democrats just sound crazy. Probably nothing new, but it's pretty shocking. If I said it or Ruckus says it, we're getting banned, but Democrats are allowed to say it. So anyway, we'll play those clips. Shocking development here. It looks like State Department Memorandum 200 or National, how's it officially known? It's officially known as National Security Study Memorandum 200. And it looks like that program is being, according to the New York Times, being defunded by the Trump administration. We'll get into that a little bit. It is, what is it, the 50th anniversary of the Biological Weapons Convention over there at the UN. A lot of good that does. We know America follows that, right? Yeah. Wink. YouTube. We hate Trump, YouTube. How about that? Yeah. Apparently, if you just are against Trump, then you're cool on YouTube. I think we're pretty damn critical of Trump here. Maybe we need to go harder against Trump for YouTube. Another judge, it's just endless. The U.S. federal judges are blocking Trump's executive orders, blocking the executive branch. Now a U.S. district judge says that we have to continue to fund Radio Free Europe so our tax money can fund propaganda into Europe. Thanks a lot, Judge. I really appreciate. How long's World War II been over? I don't know. How long's the freaking Cold War been over? Who cares? You know what I'm saying? Keep funding propaganda into Europe. It's pretty outrageous if you pay taxes. I guess a lot of people don't pay taxes, and that's why they don't care. According to this poll, it's probably accurate. I don't trust many polls. Bernie Sanders is the most popular Democrat. He's fighting the oligarchy, don't you know? But there's only been an oligarchy since Trump was elected. The last time, for when Biden was in there, there was no oligarchy. But now a Republican's in there as we continue this left-right charade. And then we have, what else? We some more. Well, we got the Bill Gates news. Bill Gates, Mr. Depopulation. Oh no, he would never do that, right? Mr. Eugenics Depopulation, Bill Gates. He says that humans won't be needed for most things. In 10 years, there'll only be 3 jobs left, Bill Gates tells us. We got that report. But he cares about our health. He's a great philanthropist that cares about our health, let me tell you. And a couple of geopolitical news. White House says operations against Houthis will continue. And then we have Signalgate. Who really cares? The real scandal is why are we indiscriminately bombing West Asia with no congressional anything? That's the real scandal. Not this BS about who's messaging on the stupid app. But that's sucking up all the news right now. So it is, for probably since Trump's been in, the slowest news day, honestly, since I've been tracking it. Okay, quickly, this day in history. On this day of March 26th, going back to 1804, Congress orders removal of Indians not East Indians, but Indians east of the Mississippi to Louisiana. The Indians with the feather, not the dot. I know people Have you ever seen these men in the street? I just saw one. I forget who did it. The Liberty, some chick at spring break on the beach. I hope it's staged and they just pick the morons, because people are just morons, man. It's bad. It's real bad. So you got to make that distinction. Indians with the feather, not the dot, that were Native Americans, they still won't get it. I fear many out there. In 1812, a massive earthquake hit Caracas, Venezuela, estimated 7.7 on the Richter scale. It destroyed 90% of the city and killed an estimated 15 to 20,000 people. That's quite an earthquake. In 1820, future Mormon church leader Joseph Smith had his first vision, allegedly. And 10 years later, in 1830, the Book of Mormon was first published in New York, in Palmyra, New York. In 1885, Eastman Film Company manufactures first commercial motion picture. I got lazy and didn't want to write, so I'll just read this one to you. I did not realize this. In 1909, the Russian military forces invaded northern Persia to support Muhammad Ali Shah's coup d'etat against the constitutional government in Persia. I did not realize Russia helped in overthrowing Persia, but they did indeed. Continuing here to 1910, a year later, U.S. forbids, and think of this, 1910, U.S. forbids immigration to criminals, anarchists, paupers, and the sick. In 1917, Britain wins a battle against the Turks at Gaza. In 1944, 705 British bombers attack Eastern Germany. In 1945, raising the flag of Iwo Jima. And let me get to that quickly, a little bit more detail. In 1945, on this day, Allies led by the U.S. Marine Corps secured the island of Iwo Jima from the Imperial Japan Army after 18,000 Japanese and 6,000 Americans are killed in that battle. And the famous photo, of course, let me just throw that on the screen quickly. I'm sure everyone's familiar with the image, but there you go. Famous propaganda of America. We're badass in America, all right? And then moving forward in time a little bit. Well, actually, our next date. So to show you how badass we are in America, in 1970, you always hear me complaining about this, all the nuclear testing. In 1970, the 500th nuclear explosion was announced by the United States military since 1945. We're the good guys. We care about the planet. Let me tell you, with 500 nuclear explosions since the development of the atom bomb. In 1997, 39 bodies were found in Rancho Santa Fe, California, as part of the Heaven's Gate suicide cult. Remember that crazy story? Pretty crazy, right? Quickly, and I'm going to bring Ruckus on here. Did I have anything else? I got tired of writing toward the end of my notes here, honestly, so I was just going to read it to you from the screen. Was there something? Well, there was a couple things. A lot of it we can't even talk about. The miracles. Yeah, that's it. Here's our. Oh, this is what I wanted to mention. On this day in 2019, maker of OxyContin, the greatest drug the world's ever known, that's never hurt anyone, Purdue Pharma agrees to pay the state of Oklahoma $270 million in a settlement ahead of a trial accusing the company of fueling the opiate epidemic. Still, no one goes to prison for it. They just pay a fine. The cost of doing business in America. Okay, here's our segue to bring on Ruckus. A mid-air collision in a French aerobatic show. Two French jets collide. Let's watch this. And surprisingly, both pilots survived after this. Let's watch this short clip and then we'll bring on Ruckus.
Oh, faites chier avec vos conneries.
Rewind that. See right there? You can see them right there. See that? Boom. And so amazingly, both pilots involved survived. How you doing today, Ruckus, on this Wednesday?
Glad to not be a fighter pilot doing all that. Man, that happened so fast. Wow, unsafe. This is why I don't believe man was intended to fly. I don't think.
We need to tar and feather more politicians and send them flying. All right, so yeah, that was quite shocking, but amazingly, both pilots survived. So,
yeah, thank God. But look at all that smoke. What is that doing to the environment? Climate change. This is terrible.
Pollution. Let's hear now from my favorite Democrat. My favorite. Everybody else likes Bernie. I like Jasmine Crockett. Let's hear what she had to say today at congressional hearings about the defunding of NPR and PBS. Oh my God, what are we going to do without that insane propaganda? Well, just listen to Democrat hearings.
Free speech is not about whatever it is that y'all want somebody to say. And the idea that you want to shut down everybody that is not Fox News is bullshit. Free
It gets better. They went off the rails today. This one's a little bit calmer, but then we got a real crazy one.
I like how she was doing the head thing and everything. Just saying.
She's into it. Giorgio Caesar here, some Democrat. Watch this.
How many millions of dollars a month do taxpayers spend for Daniel Tiger to play golf?
I have no idea.
The answer is none.
Okay.
To your knowledge, has Miss Piggy ever been caught trying to funnel billions of dollars in government contracts to herself and to her companies?
That's a silly question.
Well, the answer is no. How about Arthur the Aardvark? Has he ever fired independent government watchdogs who are investigating his companies? The answer is no. Madam Chair, I'm told we're here to talk about government efficiency, but Daniel Tiger has not blown $10 million of taxpayer money to play golf with his friends, but Donald Trump has, just at the beginning of his administration. Miss Piggy hasn't been caught funneling billions of dollars in government contracts to herself, but Elon Musk has. And Arthur has not fired independent government watchdogs investigating him and his companies, but Elon Musk has fired at least 5. How many millions of dollars a month?
Freaking clown world. There's more. This one's shocking. I was going to put this in a headline. I was like, no, I'll get censored for this.
Arthur the Aardvark, they're on to you, Sam.
Watch this one. If you or I said this, we're getting banned. But this guy, Democrat Garcia, pretty sure this guy's out of California, congressman. Let's just hear what he has to say. He's saying it, not me.
Extreme liberal agenda that you're all pushing, I think, doesn't stop there. This, of course, is Bert and Ernie. Now, these two guys actually live together. They're friends. They're supportive of each other. Now, that might be triggering to our chairwoman and some on this committee, and perhaps that's also why we're here today. Ms. Kerger, an important question. Are Bert and Ernie part of an extreme homosexual agenda?
No.
Thank you, Ms. Kergren, and thank you for being a good sport. Now, I'm obviously using some humor here, but the fact that we're sitting here today talking about defunding public television is actually not funny. At a time where we can't agree on basic facts, and while the free press is under attack, we need public media like PBS and NPR more than ever. A large majority of Americans say they trust PBS.
Idiots. If you look into Elmo the puppeteer, I forget, somebody involved with Elmo has been busted for child abuse.
Well, there's all of that, but the elephant in the room, the obvious one, is how come nobody's raising their hand by now saying, wait, the publicly funded television, and you're saying the government is going to cut? Wait, how is this not government funded or taxpayer? I mean, that's not what public funded means, is it? I mean, maybe I'm just confused. I thought the people were supposed to support, like the Bill and the Melinda Gates foundations and the philanthropists, not the U.S. government just taking our tax dollars and saying, well, you might not care for Bert and Ernie's situation, but that's too bad. You're paying for it. Same with the aardvarks, all of them, including Arthur.
They kind of sidestep that. Yeah, why is it even an issue unless taxpayer government money, which is taxpayer money, is funding subversive propaganda against you? Here is kind of on the same thread. It looks like they're all reading off that same Democrat. And so they turned it into a clown show because it is all political theater there. Here is Governor of Illinois, J.B. Pritzker, also bringing up the agenda, the Rainbow Skittles agenda here. Listen to what this maniac has to say.
Now, I first got my start in activism right here in the state of California. As a little kid growing up in Silicon Valley in the 1970s, my mother was an activist for reproductive rights and LGBTQ rights. And she took me to pride parades back when, well, they weren't really parades, they were protests. So I have to laugh when I hear the right wing carry on about the dangers of exposing kids to trans people or same-sex couples, because I'm living proof that introducing your kids to the gay agenda might result in them growing up to be governor.
What? Another reason not to introduce your kids to this type of behavior, because do you want your kid to work for the government and be a governor? I sure in the hell don't.
That was these people. You can't make this stuff up. That's all I got to say. Wow. Straight from the horse's mouth. How about that?
I'd say even worse than their risky lifestyle, to say the least, is
it's like was it Tim Walz who was like, I'm friends with school shooters, right? Was that the guy who said that? And then I swear I saw something about RFK Jr. trying to defend himself, having gone on the Epstein plane, and he's all like, "Well, I used to hang out with Bill Cosby," and he starts listing a bunch of other like creeps who Weinstein is. I used to hang out with Weinstein too, and I'm just like, dude, you're not helping.
It could always be worse, I guess, is what. Here's So the right-wingers are right. 100% of NPR's 87 editorial board members are registered Democrats with 0 Republicans, and your tax dollars are funding it. Let's watch this short clip. I think this is their CEO, and she had some psychotic video a few months back, if everybody can remember that. These people are nuts, man, and they're on their high horse like we owe them something.
And do you not think it's a problem that your political leanings make it seem to the American people that you're not biased and that you're not doing your job? Because you agree that your job is to have journalistic integrity, right?
Absolutely, but there is a strong firewall between the newsroom and anything that I
Let's
do.
talk about the newsroom. You have 87 registered Democrats, not a single Republican in your editor board. So, I mean, how does that work to give us the perception that you're doing your job of actually delivering unbiased information?
Well, I would agree with you that that number is a concern if it is accurate. I do believe that we need to have journalists who represent the full breadth of the American society so that we can report well for all Americans.
Well, I think that you are failing. I realize you've only been there for a year, but I just really think that while it is a small portion of your budget, you very much should expect to restructure your revenue streams, because I don't think that NPR is necessarily worth saving.
It's not worth saving. So they're up in arms about that. Quickly, let me just read you the headlines about the Signal Gate. Hegseth comes under scrutiny for texting because more came out, right? Because that guy, the Atlantic editor Goldberg, he had more.
Just call him Arthur the Aardvark.
Arthur the Aardvark at the Atlantic had more. So he obviously planned a series to drag this thing out and distract us from all the Aardvark war crimes. Thank you very much for that. He also served in the IDF. Coincidence, I suppose. So military wife rips him for risking husband's life. Talking about Hegseth, Secretary of Defense. Spooks warned about Signal weeks ago. I warned about it. Came out that it was unsecure like a year ago. I remember reporting on it. Who cares? Just how can I be more informed than the freaking intelligence agencies? It's just beyond stupid.
You would think the governments and the secret societies, not societies, but the intelligence agencies would have some sort of in-house their own unique branded thing, right? Outside of all those other things.
I think they'd have their own private messaging app, because
maybe they really do, and they just don't want us to know. And this is all red herrings, maybe.
Maybe. Private data passwords of senior U.S. security officials found online. Was Hegseth drunk? Shouting match with CIA director? Really? If all that's true, bring back political duels and have them solve it that way. So anyway, that's taking up a lot of the air in the news space, as they say. I honestly don't care. Fire them all. It don't matter. They're going to replace some of the same stooges that carry on the forever war anyway. So does it even really matter at the end of the day? When, in fact, everybody should be outraged. Where's Congress with all the illegal foreign wars of aggression, the unconstitutional bombings of West Asia by the United States? And there's just crickets, mum's the word. Nobody seems to care about that.
How many dollars worth of our tax dollars have killed people somewhere in a foreign land in the past 24 to 48 hours while everyone was arguing about Aardvark Gate or whatever it is?
Signal Gate, yeah.
Signal Gate.
Signal Gate.
You know what? If I'm not mistaken, isn't Aardvark land involved with the Signal somehow, some way, shape, or form down the line? I'm going to have to look into that.
I don't know. I know the reporter that broke the story is a former IDF. Yeah, so there's a direct link there. But yeah, they probably are. It wouldn't surprise me. Okay, the big story of the day that I think everybody's missing, maybe I'm missing it, I don't think I am, though, is that the United States cuts global miracle funding. The Trump administration has announced plans to cut U.S. financial support for GAVI, the Miracle Alliance, as part of a broader reduction in foreign aid. This decision, detailed in a 281-page document, will significantly impact global health initiatives, including miracles for children in developing countries and malaria control programs. Critics argue that this policy could lead to over 1.2 million child deaths due to lack of miracles in the next 5 years. This move is perceived as favoring domestic tax cuts over international health and security, potentially increasing global disease spread and damaging U.S. international relations. I didn't know I'm responsible for the world's health, but according to this, I am. And that's a report.
How much money? It was $5 million? Is that what you said?
No, I didn't even say the dollar amount. I said the number of children estimated that are going to die. 1.2 million children are going to die, estimated here, if they don't get their miracles, of course.
Well, I'm just curious how much of the money, the funding that's getting cut that they're pissed off about, and then I compare that, say, to the big tech bros and the AI guys and the Sam Altmans and the Larry Ellisons and the Larry Finks, who are pouring $100 billions of dollars each into artificial intelligence. Why don't they spend that on getting the kids healthy? What's up with that? That's
In
great.
Operation Stargate, we're moving into a new future. According to the New York Times, the administration has decided to continue 898 USAID awards and to end 5,341. According to the documents they got, it says the remaining programs are worth up to $78 billion, but only 8.3 billion of that is unobligated funds, money still available to disperse, because the amount covers awards that run several years into the future. The figure suggests a massive reduction in the $40 billion that USAID used to spend annually. I love how they just throw our money around and they're entitled to it. And yeah, but the thing, and there's of course liberal Democrat outrage about this New York Times article. I was scrolling through some comments and they're just outraged because of the miracles and all the loss of children's life, but it's going over their head. The fact that our foreign policy is still operating under State Department, under National Security Study Memorandum 200's its official name. Here it is, to put it on the screen for everybody. We're still operating under this, and that's what people fail to realize. And in this document, I searched the Gronk. I said, give me a summary about it. And Gronk told me, it said, State Department Memo 200, identified as NSSM 200, is a foundational document on U.S. population control policy, focusing on family planning and related measures to manage global population growth. It includes sterilization as a potential method within family planning, but does not mention miracles. But if you read the document, which I have, if you read between the lines, that's exactly what they're talking about. Controversies about miracles for population control are external to the memo and not supported by its content. For full disclosure, and I invite everybody to go look this up and read it for yourself. Just search National Security Study Memorandum 200, and you can find it right here at the nixonlibrary.gov. And like I say, read it and read between the lines, and you'll see that's exactly what they're talking about. So underhandedly here now, they may be getting rid of this program, Ruckus.
Oh, what a shame. Right. Wow. That's crazy. Yeah. What a tangled world we live in. Pretty nutty. All this funding being cut, it's not like any of it was actually doing anybody any good other than just fattening pockets and stuff like that. But now that we're saving it, is there going to be a lick of good that they take care of us here at home, or they improve things abroad because they mess things up anywhere? I mean, like, where's the money going to go now? It's just going to go into a different back pocket now? I mean, I'm skeptical.
Yeah, it's going to go to Musk. Where's our $5,000 DOGE check? Yeah, we're not getting that. Okay, continuing here.
We're not even getting 5,000 Doge, which would be like a couple dollars.
We're not even getting $5. Yeah, man, we're not getting jack except for pay your damn taxes. Taxation's theft, right, Barry? It is indeed. So what do we make of this guy, Marty Macri, I guess is how you say his name, confirmed as FDA commissioner. He's going to get rid of all the bad stuff that the FDA approves now, right? Because he's a good guy from MAGA, right? Former doctor at good old Johns Hopkins here. And so this guy's going to clean up the FDA, right? The Food and Drug Administration. What do you think?
Wow.
What do you think?
I think a lot of people are going to be be careful what you wish for. People are going to start missing their natural food dyes and their food preservatives. If they eventually get rid of all that, they're going to be like, wait a minute, why does my food look like this pile of weird looking slop? That's not my Fruit Loops. Y'all, this food and candy and snacks and the cereal, everything, it's like all these colors and preservatives to make it look good. It has nothing to do half the time with the taste. So now it's just going to sit on the shelf. And then also they're going to have to get rid of things. You're going to have a shorter shelf life. Things are going to get tight. Things are going to get rough. So Be careful what you wish for. It's none of it's healthy for you, but the solution is just probably going to compound further problems. I predict, my suggestion.
They say he has vowed to end scientific medical censorship and restore integrity at the FDA. We'll see.
Well, that's important.
We'll see. Okay, the 50th anniversary of the Biological Weapons Convention. Today, the international community commemorates the 50th anniversary of the Biological Weapons Convention, BWC, established in 1972 to prohibit biological weapons. Various nations and organizations, including the United States, China, Switzerland, Kazakhstan, and the European Union, have all reaffirmed their commitment to enhancing the treaty's effectiveness. The focus is on improving global biosecurity governance, preventing the use of biological weapons, and promoting peaceful biotechnological applications. Events and discussions are taking place to review the convention's achievements, giving each other awards for failure. What do you think of this? Haven't they been using biological weapons all over the world since in the last 50 years? Seems like they have to me. I don't know. Call me crazy.
Well, as well as other types of unconventional warfare tactics, each one progressively worse than the last.
Seems like it. Okay, let's take our live commercial break. We're at the 30-minute mark here, as today will be our show. As I mentioned at the beginning, as we both have prior commitments. Quickly, for me, just go to weaponizednews.com, get some stickers over there, and give us a subscription on our YouTube channel. We're always ready for Pride Month here, along with the Democrats in that committee, and for PBS and NPR. So give us your money because they don't need it. They're spreading this hateful agenda, as you could see there, making light of it, what they're doing to children's minds over there. Come to Weaponized News, where we shoot you straight. Get your sticker and put it on your laptop, your bumper, or your guitar, and help support independent media. Weaponized News. Go ahead, plug.
Check me out at alternatecurrentradio.com. That's where you find my podcast, The Daily Ruckus. I have a brand new episode coming out in about an hour after this program ends this evening. You'll find that on Rumble by searching for Boiler Room. Actually, that's where it's streamed out live. But afterwards, you'll find it by searching Daily Ruckus, as well as all your other podcast platforms. I'm on Spotify, Apple, you name it. So just Daily Ruckus, you'll find me. Otherwise, go to alternatecurrentradio.com for all of my other links. That's it. Pretty easy.
Boiler Room. There's a few boiler rooms on the Boiler Room. Which one are you?
Oh, you'll know it. You'll have actual followers and videos, cool-looking graphics. Boiler Room.
Boiler Room. I searched it on the Rumble, and there's Boiler Room Network, Boiler Room.
No, just Boiler Room with like a diving helmet in the middle of like a round spiral. It's a weird graphic there. Yeah.
Here we go.
That's the one. Yeah, on Rumble.
There's Ruckus's Rumble channel.
You see all those shows there. You'll also see me on there. I also show up on the Boiler Room. So, yeah.
There we go. Tune into Ruckus after Weaponized News. Okay, continuing here. Where are we at? So, yeah. What the hell, man? They're celebrating like they're not using biological weapons. I don't get it, but
didn't they do that back in the day too? They were accused of like infecting the blankets and giving them to the Native Americans / Indians, not the ones with the dots, but the ones with the feathers. They gave them the smallpox thing. So yeah, that was like, I thought that was the first example of.
No, it goes back. I remember reporting on it. It goes back to, I forget even the year, but they were, I think it was, I want to say Chinese in like the year 300 or something, were getting sick people and like catapulting them over the wall. You know what I mean? Like
stuff. Yeah,
crazy stuff. And they're like, that's a bioweapon right there. Somebody that has the Black Plague and they're dead, and you put them on a catapult and like shoot them over the wall. Crazy stuff, man. So it's been going on a long time, trying to figure out how to defeat your enemy with biological weapons, for sure.
That one's a bit extreme.
U.S. judge, we can't get rid of it. We can't stop spending your money. U.S. judge blocks defunding of Radio Free Europe. A U.S. district judge issued a temporary restraining order preventing Kerry Lake and the Trump administration from defunding Radio Free Europe. We must fund propaganda broadcast into Europe. It's literally insane here. Even when the government wants to cut it, the other part of the government won't let us.
They're being so unfair to Kerry Lake. I won't stand for it, MAGA.
Well, at least if she wants to cut, what is the point of I don't even know what's the point of Radio Free Europe. It's not like there's not communism in Europe. I guess there is, but it's like low key. It's not front and center like it used to be during the Cold War, right? So, I mean, I just truly
Why
don't.
is there Voice of America? For the same reason. We don't need it.
Yeah, we don't need it. Okay, some good news now. We just need the Amish, because Amish aid in West Carolina, it's being reported here in North Carolina, Amish and Mennonite communities have demonstrated significant community service by constructing 150 temporary bridges to assist 16 families who were stranded. This initiative cost them $185,000. It would have cost the government $185 million probably. At least in the millions, it would have cost the government. But thankfully to the altruism and community spirit of the Amish and the Mennonite community in that area, they've built these 16 temporary bridges to allow families to have access out of the area, coming and going, and be able to live without being stranded in rural North Carolina, doing what the government can't or won't do here now.
Doing the Lord's work.
Yeah, and it's
they're good at that stuff. They build barns and stuff all the time. They're really good with wood. They love to work. That's what they do. They get up at the crack of dawn. They work, and that's what they do. They work until night, and then they pray and go to bed and do it all over.
It's amazing, amazing. So that's a feel-good story. Now on to the bad news. The government hates your Second Amendment rights. U.S. Supreme Court has upheld the Biden administration regulation that mandates serial numbers and background checks for, quote, ghost gun kits, which are kits for assembling firearms that are otherwise untraceable. The decision was made 7-2 vote, with Justice Thomas and Alito dissenting. This ruling interprets these kits as firearms under the Gun Control Act, subjecting them to the same regulatory controls as conventional firearms. The government loves your natural right to self-defense, let me tell you.
Keep this up, it's going to be like get all the way down to knives and sharpened sticks. You're not allowed to own a sharpened stick. You have to purchase a sharpened stick from a licensed sharpened stick dealer with a sharpened stick serial number registered in a database somewhere. It's ridiculous.
It's for your safety. Trump executive order targets Jenner and Block law firm in Chicago and D.C. attorney Andrew Weissman. So sadly, they're saying a no hire order for Weissman. I'm sure, and if for those that remember, he was key in the Russia collusion hoax, drumming up all of that propaganda and hoax throughout Trump's first presidency. I'm sure a federal judge will block it and say you must fund this law firm here now so they can cook up more hoaxes. I mean, why not? This poll, let's see, who's this? Gilotat Morris Substack. Anyway, I don't know where. Oh, YouGov. I guess people know YouGov. Anyway, Bernie Sanders. I'll put it up here on the screen. Who's your favorite Democrat? My favorite is that old Jasmine Crockett. She's a real firecracker. But
AOC is mine, clearly.
Bernie Sanders right here is in this YouGov Economist poll, is the most popular Democrat. I don't even know who this is. Elisa Soltkin got 1. J.B. Pritzker, who said if you are following the rainbow agenda. You could be governor. Played that clip earlier. He got a 0. AOC got a -3 there, Ruckus. I don't know, man. She's ranking right with Booty Judge. That's a weird. I guess this is all political figures. Trump scoring down there -5. Gavin Newsom -15. We can do better than that, California. Chuck Schumer -33. Ruckus -33. The Democrat Party -35. So, oh my gosh, how can anybody support Bernie Sanders after?
What about Ron Paul? Ron Paul was cool. I know
I guess he's not technically. Well, this is all. It says net favorability for major American.
I just see Biden's name up there. His name or Obama. They're probably like 100%. Everybody loves them. Everybody.
They were off the scales. Yeah. So whatever that poll's worth, Bernie is leading it after he basically sold out to Hillary Clinton in 2016. But what the hell?
I'm once again asking for your help.
Free. Everything's free. He's fighting the oligarchy, man. I'm telling you, he's going to overthrow those. He had to change it from millionaires to billionaires.
Pretty soon, trillionaires. That'll happen soon.
He's a millionaire himself now. A great socialist communist that Bernie Sanders is. He's a multimillionaire. So I'm sure he'll give all his ill-gotten gains back to the U.S. Treasury in support of the people, right? No, probably not. Okay.
No.
Quick economic news here. Dollar Tree sells Family Dollar. I didn't even know they were parent companies for $1 billion. $1 billion. Expect your Dollar Tree items to go up in price. U.S. extends China tech blacklist. The United States government has intensified its trade conflict with China by blacklisting over 50 Chinese companies. So tech companies specifically here now. So as the tariff, trade war, and AI wars are heating up. Trump executive order, this was yesterday. I don't know how I missed it. Maybe I did report it. I think I missed it, though. Treasury payment modernization system executive order was signed by Trump yesterday. And allegedly, this is going to streamline payments out of the Treasury to cut waste, fraud, and abuse, they claim.
That's setting a foundation for the digital dollar, which is fine because that's completely different than a CBDC, because we said no CBDCs, which is a centralized bank digital currency. But we're going to offer you a digital currency which is backed centrally. How's that for you?
Yeah, well, hey, it's all for our own safety and security. There will be no jobs soon. We'll get to that. According to Bill Gates, Trump announces 25% tariffs on all cars not made in America. And that has caused, along with other issues, copper prices surged to record high. And so they will be stealing the charging cables from your EV charging stations for all the copper in them. Make no mistake about it. It has nothing to do against Tesla. It's tweakers that are trying to get a quick score with some easy copper.
Is that what kids are smoking these days? Man, things have changed since I was a wild teenager. I tell you what, don't be smoking copper. Don't do copper. Don't do drugs, kids.
No, they're going to steal the copper wire and sell it.
I get it. I know. Okay. I'm just kidding.
They may.
But then again, I mean, Sam, we've got kids eating Tide Pods and weird stuff like that. So you really never know. It is 2025. So who knows? Look, people are still getting boosters. Yeah.
Don't do drugs, kids. Okay, here's our former doctor during the medical intervention period until his wife divorced him for sexually harassing employees. Bill Gates, he says, within 10 years, AI will replace many doctors and teachers. Humans won't be needed for most things. And then he goes on to say, there will only be 3 jobs left. Bill Gates believes only these 3 jobs will survive AI takeover workplaces. The 3 jobs are coders, energy experts. I guess Thomas will be always having a job, and biologists, of course. And so those will be
man.
your 3 jobs in the future, according to our former doctor, Bill Gates, savior of the world.
I know one lady serving on the Supreme Court who's not going to make it because she's not a biologist. Get it? Neither am I. Shocking. Actually, my episode of the Daily Ruckus is going to cover a lot of related to what Bill Gates is speaking there. But I think Bill Gates might be right. But you have to ask yourself, how does he know? Is this like wishful thinking, prophetic predictions, or they're making it happen? I mean,
well, his GAVI allegedly is getting defunded, so I don't know.
Maybe they don't need it anymore. Everyone stopped to think about, hey, maybe we don't need to do this anymore. The mission has been complete. We're right on schedule with our, you know what, agenda.
Depopulation agenda. I think
I wasn't going to. What are you talking about? I wasn't going to. No, we would never.
I think we're allowed to say that. Maybe not. We'll see. Okay. EU is launching a new strategy of preparedness. I've been following it loosely. They're like back and forth. They seem very disconjointed. Like they want to go to war with Russia still, but they kind of know that the people are not supporting it. But the psychotic leadership over there still wants a war with Russia really bad, and they know that it seems to be winding down, and they're like they don't know what to do with themselves because they promised that Putin would invade all of Europe if they didn't destroy Russia. And they see that narrative dying and they're like beside themselves. So anyway, preparedness, EU launches its new preparedness strategy. Let's watch this. And it's always good to be prepared. And so I'm not mocking this. I'm just mocking the fact that I honestly don't believe Putin was going to invade the whole of Europe. But they have been pumping that for 3 years. So anyway, let's watch this video. And it's always good to be prepared. I would say to be prepared more than 72 hours. They're talking about 3 days here. I say we need long-term preparedness, but it is always good to have a bug-out bag. Let's watch this short clip about EU new preparedness strategy.
It's Ajalabi. Welcome to What's in My Bag Survival Edition. First up, my glasses. Super important if you want to see what is happening or not. Next, my document in waterproof pouch. A must in a rainy Brussels. Now, let's talk about lighting. I have a flashlight. If you don't forget matches and of course, the light. Turn. And water, of course, because water is life. And my special friend, a Swiss Army knife. 18 tools in only one knife. A must-have. And don't forget your medication. You might need it, because you never know. And don't forget something to eat. You might be hungry, very hungry. And of course, some cash. In the middle of a crisis, cash is king. And your credit card might just be a piece of plastic. A charger and a power bank. Because a dead phone is a dead end. Playing cards, bit of distraction, never hurt anyone. And don't forget a radio. The smaller one. This is everything you need to survive the first 72 hours of a crisis. Speaking about being prepared, the EU is preparing its strategy to be sure that every citizen is safe in case of crisis. Be prepared, be safe.
I think I'm going to throw up.
They tried to make it cute and funny.
That was offensive to real preppers. That was the dumbest. That was so cringe. I can't. I just can't. Was that a paid advertisement for Swiss Army, by the way? Swiss Army brand? Anyway.
Maybe product placement there. And what was that? It was like, it wasn't really the sustainable goals pin there, but it kind of was that she was wearing, you know what I mean? It wasn't like 100%, but you could mistake it as the Sustainable Development Goals pin. Anyway, yeah, it's always good to be prepared. Continuing here, Brazil Supreme Court to put Bolsonaro on trial for alleged coup attempt. So old Bolsonaro there is He's set to stand trial for allegedly conspiring to overthrow the government after he lost a 2022 election. They wanted to do that same thing here to Trump, but failed. But apparently they're in communist-run Brazil. They're going to have no problem bringing him to trial. They'll probably convict him as well. I don't know. Wouldn't want to be him right now in Brazil. It's crazy.
That's been a long, drawn-out drama, though. I'll be happy to see some sort of wrap-up to that one. We'll see.
Four U.S. soldiers in Army M88A2 armored recovery vehicle missing from Tuesday's exercise in Lithuania during training have been found dead. Sad to report there. And they don't say in this report exactly why. So maybe we'll have to go
in an armored vehicle. Like, you think they'd be pretty safe, right? What happened? This is crazy.
I don't know. We'll have to follow up on that tomorrow when we have more time. Let's see here. Yeah, a quick clip from for those concerned, the operations against the Houthis will continue. Here's the White House spokeswoman.
But there have been more than 100 strikes conducted against Houthi targets, and they have hit key Houthi leaders, air defense systems, command and control nodes, headquarters, weapons manufacturing and storage facilities, and these operations will continue until the freedom of navigation in our seas is restored and U.S. shipping can safely transmit without the fear of attack. And again, we believe that this has been a very successful.
How many? What, she said over 100?
I don't know, but that list of targets she gave, how much do you want to bet that what she didn't add in was the parentheses part was hiding underneath a school, hiding behind a nurse's office somewhere in a hospital. Yeah, but we got them. We've got the target. That console target was a computer in an office building somewhere and a bunch of, like, innocent civilians, collateral damage. My bad.
She said more than 100 targets. So we've bombed the Houthis in Yemen over 100 times, according to the White House, with no congressional anything.
Well, this is different. This isn't war. We don't need Congress. They're terrorists. We can pish posh. Who needs Congress?
True. What is going on with Greenland here? Listen to Trump here. Trump says we need Greenland for international safety and security. We need it. We have to have it. Listen to this. Are we going to do a hostile takeover of Greenland? Because it's being hemmed and hawed around the edges. The U.S. delegation is going there on Friday. Like, what the hell is going on with Greenland, a protectorate of Denmark as it stands right now? Let's watch this short clip audio from Trump talking about it.
International safety and security. We need it. We have to have it. And it's a island that, from a defensive posture and even offensive posture, is something we need, especially with the world the way it is. And we're going to have it. And so I hate to put it that way, but we're going to have it. Modern day weapons. When you look at ships going up their shore by the hundreds, it's a busy place, and it's really something we have to have.
Do you think the people of Greenland are eager to become American citizens?
I don't know. I don't think they're eager, but I think that we have to do it, and we have to convince them, and we have to have that land, because it's not possible to properly defend a large section of this earth, not just the United States, without it. So we have to have it, and I think we will have it.
Wow. Trump doesn't sound good. He sounds like he's sick or he's tired, but wow, that's quite the statement. Dang.
Yeah, look out for, I guess, I don't know.
He's like, what do you think about the people who live there, what they feel? I don't know, and I don't care.
Well, they're white, so maybe we won't bomb them. Screw it. bomb them.
We got to convince them. How much propaganda, how many years is that going to take, Trump? Do you mean you're going to force them at gunpoint? Is that where we're headed? Are we going to forcibly take Greenland? We defunded all of the normal ways that we would go in there and do regime change. Am I correct? I mean, so now what? You shot yourself in the foot, Trump.
Kerry is reporting follow-up on that story. More details. The training vehicle that the 4 U.S. soldiers died in was underwater. They drowned during NATO training in Lithuanian waters. Wow.
That's not sus at all, at all. That's super sus.
Well, thank you for that detail, Kerry. Wow. Okay, where are we at here? We're almost done in an hour. Here's everybody's favorite defense minister of Aardvark land, good old Aardvark Katz, warns that IDF operations in Gaza will soon expand into new areas with evacuation orders to follow, accusing Hamas of endangering civilians. The damn Hamas. It's not Aardvark's doing it, it's Hamas that's forced their hand, don't you know? Let's watch this clip of this maniac, Aardvark Katz.
בקרוב יפעל צה"ל בעוצמה באזורים נוספים בעזה, ואתם תידרשו להתפנות למען הגנתכם מתוך אזורי הלחימה. התוכניות כבר מוכנות ומאושרות. החמאס מסכן את חייכם ויגרום לכם לאבד את בתיכם ועוד ועוד שטח שיצורף למערך ההגנה הישראלי. סינואר הראשון הרס את עזה, וסינואר השני מוכן לשרוף במו ידיו חצי מעזה, רק כדי לנסות ולשמור את שלטון השחיתות שלו ושל חבריו, רוצחי ואנסי החמאס. הם ומשפחותיהם יושבים מוגנים במנהרות או במלונות פאר, עם חשבונות של מיליארדים בבנקים בחול, ומשתמשים בכם כבני ערובה. תלמדו מתושבי בית לאיה, כפי שהם עשו, תדרשו גם אתם את סילוק החמאס מעזה ואת השחרור המיידי של כל החטופים הישראלים. זאת הדרך היחידה להפסיק את המלחמה.
They're just chilling in foreign luxury hotels. It must be really hard to find them and go get them with very few casualties involved, huh? If only life was like a movie or a Tom Clancy book. If only there were like snipers and things like that. But oh no, unfortunately we need to rely on good old Americans' taxpayer dollars and those big old bombs, because there might be under the tunnels. We don't know, because we're not very good at this intelligence game. Unless we want everyone to think we're very good at this intelligence game. Who's asking? It's ridiculous.
Don't use the Signal app, man. Just don't, don't use it. Okay, one last clip, and then we're going to wrap up the show. Barry, I do apologize. I did get your email. We're going to show your video tomorrow. I promise. But today, in the interest of time, we're not going to show it. But we are going to show it tomorrow. And Weaponized News announcement. More guests are coming. We have a very special show lined up for Sunday. It's going to be not YouTube or Facebook friendly, so you're going to have to find us on the other channels, Rumble for sure, every other channel but YouTube and Facebook. We have a scientist coming on along with Thomas, and we're going to show you some stuff that is very interesting and is not allowed on those channels. So anyway, special Sunday edition. And then who do we got? Friday we got a guy. We got the guy, the guy, what the heck's that? I can't remember his name. Murray, the guy geopolitical, what the heck's his name?
You got Hrvoje Morić.
There you go. Sorry, Hrvoje.
He's one of my best friends. I love Hrvoje.
Sorry, Hrvoje, for not being able to pronounce your name. But we got him on
Geopolitics and Empire. There you go.
Yeah, we got him on Friday, or no. What is it? Yeah, Thursday. We got him tomorrow. So
nice.
I was just looking at my messages. So we got him on tomorrow for more geopolitical news, as we've kind of drifted away for the great details since Simon has left us. But a couple of these posts were from trolling Simon's X account. He's still on the X, so go check out Simon's feed there. Last video here, and then and we got more people coming. I'm constantly inviting people to come on, so more very informative, interesting guests to come. along with Ruckus. Thank you for joining us today. But to play us out, we'll play this video and then wrap up the show. This is a satire parody, I believe, because you have to laugh and to stop from crying a day. Because these, I don't know if you guys have noticed on the interwebs, videos of a day in the life are making the rounds, right? Of all of these different people. There's like a buff black dude. There's like some techie, nerdy white dude with a beard and a bunch of different people. Anyway, I've seen these videos and they're highly produced, right? And so they're great videos put together. Anyway, here is a parody of that. I believe, I hope this is not real. A day in the life of a Lockheed Martin employee. So let's watch this and then we'll wrap up the show.
This is a day in my life working as a project manager at Lockheed Martin. Once I get to work, I have my morning meeting.
So should we drone strike the hospital or the daycare?
What about the church? Here's my fit check for today. We added a new client. I can't say who, but they're the bomb. Or should I say they're bombing? Then I answered some emails, and then it was time for my mental health walk. Look how beautiful these flowers are. Like, I'm really learning to appreciate the little things in life lately. Then I went and got a coffee, and then it was back to work. Then I presented my newest project. I'm so excited. We're putting bombs inside of first aid kits. I had to lay off a bunch of people because we're replacing them with Tesla robots, but we did it in a group, so it didn't take too long. Then we had a work happy hour, which was such a blast. No pun intended.
That's pretty good.
They're called. I'm gonna try to get James Corbett on. He has a new book, and I see the chat are big James Corbett fans. As am I. I did have him on. I want to say once or twice. I know I had him on at least once. I want to say maybe twice back when I was doing AM radio over here in Fresno to promote a Federal Reserve documentary that he had made at that time. So we will try to get him on in the near future to promote his book and talk about his book. Any final words there, Ruckus, before we sign off?
No, thanks for having me. God bless everybody. It's been fun.
Be sure to tune in to Ruckus after this. What time is it again?
It should be within an hour after this. So we'll say in about an hour from now.
Tune into Ruckus Boiler Room in about an hour. There it is on Rumble. Just search Boiler Room and you can find it. There's like 3 different ones, but this is the one right here, Boiler Room.
Or just go to alternatecurrentradio.com. I'm going to have a show page with the embedded player ready to go.
There you go. Thank you, Ruckus. Thank you to everybody for tuning in to this Wednesday edition of Weaponized News. We'll see you back here tomorrow with a very special guest. And keep on trucking there. Yeah, that's all we got for today. As always, everybody do your own research. Peace, love, and liberty. Speak out and take action. Have a great rest of your